What is up, you awesome kisters and CistReactZ guys, and today we're watching Matt Patz's FNAF. This is the end. So yeah, this is his last theory apparently. On FNAF at least. Oh. He's playing all the memories. Yeah. Oh, never mind indeed.
Exotic.
Wait, someone remixed that? It's all over? Is he gonna burn it? Oh, the fam. Yeah, that sound doesn't scare me anymore.
Game theory, where before we close the book on our final FNAF theory,
I've been shooken up by that sound way too much.
A new Back to School merch, Genocide Run or Pacifist Run editions, or you can be a total.
All right, here we go.
Timeline. We've still got a lot
That was a
to
long
cover,
advertisement.
So in the words of Phil DeFranco,
let's just jump into it.
When last we left things, we'd covered everything up through the second Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria location. Things like why the missing children's incident must be the first event of the timeline, the identity of Golden Freddy, why Circus Baby's Pizza World has to come earlier in the timeline than most people expect, and a quick review over how Michael Afton is the crying child from FNAF 4. But all of that left us with a big question.
That part I'm still
if
iffy about.
Michael Afton is the crying child who gets himself bit, then how is he able to come back later in the timeline for games like Sister Location and Pizzeria Simulator? Well, this is where the
Tell me
books
he's
once
already
again come in
dead.
to give us the solution that no one would have predicted. You see, at the end of FNAF 4,
he was already a
we get the
robot?
lines, "We are still your friends. Do you still believe that? I will put you back together." We've never actually established who speaks those words. Ultimately, the best guess that we had was the puppet. But here's the thing, it can't be the puppet. Based on this, my final and best timeline of events, William hasn't killed Henry's daughter yet. The puppet isn't possessed yet. Instead, that line is more likely coming from William. It's him
William
making
Afton
a
himself.
promise to his dead son. I will put you back together. The thing is, he takes that promise a lot more literally than any of us would have ever suspected.
Turn Michael
He
into a
is literally
robot.
promising to physically put his son back together as a robot. And we know from the final FNAF novel, The Fourth Closet, that William in that story is obsessed with bringing life to these machines. And even more importantly, we know that in Scott's vision of this world, robots who think they're human and don't realize that they're robots is a real thing. A huge twist at the end of the final
Holy
FNAF
crap, that
novel
kind of
is
just...
the main character, Charlie, Henry's daughter, is actually revealed to be one of these sorts of robots.
Yeah, she was
and
like an
not
android or
just
something.
A single robot, mind you.
Spoiler for people who didn't
Charlie
read that.
is one in
No, they came a little late.
series of 4 robots. That's what the title of the book is referencing. She was kidnapped and killed by Afton as a 3-year-old girl, and in his grief over losing his daughter, Henry built 4 robotic versions of her, each one slightly older than the last, implanting each version with memories so that she could grow up just like a normal kid. Quote,
Weird.
Charlie would be a baby, then a little girl, and then a sulky teenager, then at last she would be a woman. She would be finished. Perfect. End quote. It's weird, definitely, and it opens up a whole heck of a lot of plot holes in the novel, but I honestly think that this might be what happens to Michael Afton in the games. Clearly, he dies during the bite of 83. The survival logbook confirms this over and over and over again. That is locked in. But Michael is literally rebuilt by Afton, put back together by William.
Don't know why that made me cringe.
It fits with the timeline, and most importantly of all, it explains why he doesn't die after getting scooped in Sister Location.
I should be dead, but I'm not.
Why his memory is so foggy throughout the survival logbook, but most importantly...
Well, trying to pause, but yeah, that's something I didn't think about myself. Holy crap! Wait, this dude could actually be a robot! Because, I mean, like... He should have been dead after the... Yeah, he should have been dead after the scooper, but he wasn't. He still managed to get out. Holy crap.
Through fire. Have you ever stopped to consider that? Michael Afton lives through getting himself scooped at the end of Sister Location, but passes on just like all the other animatronics at the end of FNAF 6.
That's crazy.
The remnant in his body is burned away. Remember, based on our timeline, William Afton has already seen his daughter die in Circus Baby, and has also probably seen that her spirit possesses the suit. So he knows it's possible for a living spirit to be inside these robots. It actually might be why he sends Michael down to explore Sister Location in the first place.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I put her back together, just like you asked me to.
He knows that Michael's sister, his daughter, is still
That's
down
how-
there, so he's
that
aware of what she is, and it might be his way of breaking the news
Holy
to
crap.
Michael.
I'm
Hey
still
there,
I'm
kiddo,
still stunned.
there was, something I was meaning to tell you, but unfortunately, kinda trapped in a wall right now. So go down into that creepy cellar I have and pay a visit to your sister. She might prompt some really existential revelations. And lastly, consider this. In the bonus cutscenes for Sister
True
Location,
that.
Baby establishes that she knows that Michael can't die.
You won't die, you won't die, you won't die.
And he
So
didn't.
she might just recognize that they're one and the same. This insane-sounding theory, and trust me, I recognize that it sounds completely bonkers.
But
may
it's-
actually
but
tie
it's-
into the mystery
it
of
makes
the
so much
FNAF 4
sense.
box. What's in it? It might actually be Michael Afton's body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember how I just said
Just
that
like
in the
how
fourth
Charlie was in a
closet,
box,
the main
too.
character was actually the third in a series of 4 robots? Well, she almost gets herself killed at the end of book 2 and is discovered
Mega Man
midway
health
through
bar on
book
the side.
3, locked in a box that sounds very similar to the one that appears at the end of FNAF 4. Quote, John moved to a large green chest, the paint almost entirely
Oh, and it was
worn
green
off.
in that
There was no
story.
lock. John knelt beside it, found the handle, and heaved it open.
And notice
then
how it says
shuddered.
green chest too.
It's Charlie, he said hoarsely. In the chest. She was locked in a box. That's insane. She was locked in a box. Who knows for how long? Days? Months? End quote. I actually know how long she was trapped in the box. It was 6 months. So anyway,
6 months?
is this definitive proof of what's
Year.
in the box and that Michael Afton is a robot? No. But it's definitely circumstantial evidence. And think about this. Remember that Scott kept the box locked because he was worried that the fan base wouldn't accept the answer to what was inside of it. Well, can you blame him? If he kept a broken robot kid inside of the box, that would probably upset a few people because at this point in the series, it would literally come out of nowhere. Up to FNAF 4, this was just the story of
Yeah.
a creepy, haunted animatronic pizzeria. Nothing about
Just
robot
break
kids or anything
everything.
like that. The last stretch of this series just went into some weird directions. Anyway, with the bite of 83, Fredbear's Family Diner closes, leaving only Freddy Fazbear's second location, Junior's, a new, larger location with upgraded security in the form of the toy animatronics. But after all the missing children from their last endeavor, Henry wanted to take an extra special precaution to further protect his daughter. He installed an upgraded surveillance system in the form of security puppet, specifically programmed
Security
to watch
puppet.
one child, his daughter. As an added nod to where security
Oh yeah,
puppet fits
security
into the
puppet for freaking
timeline,
FNAF
Scott
6.
very
Kinda
clearly
got stuck
included
there,
the
sorry.
puppet's signature gift box
Like I said,
as part of the
I'm still
visuals
thinking
in the
about what he
beginning
said
of
earlier about
FNAF
Michael.
6, a box that only occurs in the FNAF 2 location. You can even see what looks to be wanted posters in the back alley, thereby establishing that a crime had been committed in this area previously. William Afton returns and, because he's a prime suspect in the missing children's
be, though,
incident, is
but I
not
don't think they're
allowed
wanted
back
posters.
at the pizzeria. That's why we see him turned away at the door to Junior's. As a result, he's forced to kill Henry's daughter outside, behind the facility. Her soul goes on to possess the security puppet, and she proceeds to give life to all the other lost souls still trapped in the original 5 animatronics. We know this based on the Save Them minigame, where we see the puppet searching for
Yeah,
someone
wasn't
to
he, like,
help the dead
spelling it out,
children
too?
lying around the pizzeria. The toy animatronics are standing on
Save
stage
us,
lifeless. But most
please.
tellingly of all, we see the original versions of Foxy, Chica, and Bonnie inactive in the parts and supply room.
That'd be the
And yet
original
Freddy
Freddy,
is somehow
yeah.
able to freely move around. This shows us that some of the OG animatronics haven't been given gifts, given life yet. It's also worth noting that on rare instances, we get an Easter egg of Golden Freddy, broken there on the floor, his ghostly self phasing into and out of existence. And that's not all. Get
Phasing
close
into
to him,
and
and
out.
for a brief moment, you catch a glimpse of a white dot appearing in his eye. Golden Freddy has the spirit of Cassidy already in him, except there
Oh.
are 2 problems. First, he's a spring-lock suit. Unlike the others, he can't freely move around because he's not kept in animatronic mode. Despite the puppet's best attempts, Cassidy will be forever trapped in a suit that is perpetually slumped over. But secondly, the yellow Golden Freddy suit is being kept, like we saw, in the FNAF 4 location. Hence why in FNAF 2 and then onward in the series, he's forced to remain as just a spirit. Afton continues to sneak into the pizzeria disguised as a security guard, using his signature spring-lock suit and crank to kill kids. This
Oof.
prompts the animatronics to get angry and attack anyone in a
I
security
like how he's
guard
using
uniform.
shadows,
As
too.
we see throughout
Nice
the FNAF
editing.
novels, and as the
I never
puppet
actually talk about
reinforces
that. I
an
love his
ultimate
editing.
custom night,
The others are like
Or the editing that
animals,
his team
but
does, I don't
I'm
know.
very aware.
so they're not rationally thinking, which results in night guard turned day guard Jeremy Fitzgerald getting his frontal lobe bit in an event known as the Bite of 87, and henceforth animatronics are no longer allowed to free roam in the restaurants. In total, another 5 children die in the FNAF 2 location, again shown through the Save Them minigame, before the place is shut down and the toy animatronics get scrapped, since, let's be honest, they were all kind of crap at their job anyway. But more importantly, it's at this point that Afton realizes the power of children's souls. It's here where he first sees the animatronics moving freely, possessed by the spirits of the dead children and activated by the puppet. And here, through the end of the series, his mission changes. He's no longer just killing kids. He's now looking to actively harness that power for himself so he can be immortal. It's a goal that he expresses in the 4th closet. Quote, "You killed them. They died in the suits. Their bodies were bound inside along with their souls. The spirit follows the flesh, it would seem, and also the pain. If I wish to become my own immortal creation, my body must lead my spirit to its eternal home." This affects all his future actions in the series. So when the withered animatronics get
what
sent
a
back
sick
to
man!
one location for storage and the possible reopening of the pizzeria, William tracks them back to dismantle them and discover their power. This leads to the cutscenes from FNAF 3, where William systematically lures the original animatronics to the back safe room one by one, only to dismantle them. Before, these cutscenes
smile on his
super
face.
random. It just seemed like him trying to get rid of the animatronics for reasons. But now, thanks to the novels, we actually know why he did it, to dissect the robots and experiment on them. And it's these experiments that end up producing the Funtime animatronics. One big lingering question mark of the series was the nature of the Funtime animatronics deep underground during Sister Location.
So
how were they alive?
Yeah,
were
they
they
sentient
possessed
AI
by more
or
dead
possessed?
kids? Well, we finally have our answer
always
there,
a question.
courtesy of Candy Cadet and the 4th closet. Now, back in FNAF 6, Candy Cadet's stories were a bit of a mystery. Each one had to do with 5 things becoming one thing. 5 keys melted together, 5 orphans sewn together to fit into one coffin, 5 kittens sacrificed, and then
the middle one though.
Shoebox.
Screw the
Seeing
cat.
that
That middle one hit me hard.
The other animatronic parts, but the math was always kind of wonky.
Eek.
Ennard consisted of baby.
At least
Homura,
Harry Potter
Funtime
had
Freddy,
had
and Funtime
Hagrid,
Foxy,
and
which is
Batman
just
had
4
Alfred.
animatronics.
Jesus.
Maybe if you squinted at it, you would include the Bonnie puppet, but that seemed like a stretch. And as a result, we just
Probably just got
quite
grinded
sure
with the
what was
Funtime
going on
Freddy
with those
robot.
stories. Luckily, the release of the 4th closet has cleared this mystery up. Quote, "A single figure stood still amongst the chaos, out of phase with the surroundings. At first it seemed to be a man bent over a table, but as Carlton's head throbbed with waves of confusion, the man became a yellow rabbit. Not standing over a table, but over 5 children, tied together as one. He knew exactly what he was looking at. The endoskeletons of the original Freddy's animatronics, welded and melted together, immobile and featureless.
Why do I keep forgetting
and
parts of
still
this book that I
inhabited by
read
the
like
spirits of the
2
children
weeks
who
ago?
had been murdered inside of them so many years
5 weeks
ago,
ago, actually.
still filled with life and motion and
I finished it,
thought,
God dang
all
it.
trapped, all in terrible pain." End quote. So in the FNAF 3 cutscenes, we see William dismantle the animatronics. From there, he melts down their endoskeletons to discover the secret of their everlasting life. He then uses this molten spirit metal, Remnant, to infuse life into his new creations, the Funtime animatronics. Quote again, "The table's surface was glowing orange and the hot metal hissed. William took a syringe from the woman's hand and thrust it into the squirming thing forcefully. He drew the plunger up, holding the needle steady as the syringe filled with molten substance. He staggered back toward the bear. The man again pried open the heavy chest plate of the standing broken bear, then carefully inserted the syringe he held directly into the chest cavity and began to press the plunger down." What this and the Candy Cadet stories tell us is that the Funtimes weren't just possessed by new kids, they were created from the remnant of the original 5, fused together into one chaotic, confused spiritual mess. Like Ennard said from his original teaser for Sister Location, there's a piece of me in every body. From those experiments, William is able to open Circus Babies Entertainment and Rentals, the underground facility from Sister Location. Using Remnant, he brings life to animatronics specifically designed to lure and trap kids so he can have more test subjects for his experiments. He then rents the robots out to special events and other locations. Why isn't there a Funtime Chica in Sister Location? Simply because she's rented out. We see this hidden in the source code to Scott's website around the time of Sister Location's release. Chica's Party World is a separate location, a client of Afton Robotics, and as such, she's not being kept underground with the rest of them. That's why she's gone, only to then reappear
She missed
in
out on
FNAF
the bull.
6 and Custom Night. But there was
She
one
missed out.
thing that William Afton didn't anticipate in all his plans: the spirits of the children wanting revenge. Now that they were freed from their animatronic prisons, they corner William in the safe room of the first Freddy Fazbear's
And then
restaurant,
he got dead
forcing him
inside
to
of
hide
that
out
suit.
in the golden Bonnie suit, which
Stabbed to
snapped
death
shut,
for
almost
30
killing
long
him,
years.
But not quite. It just transformed
But still
him into
didn't die.
Springtrap. The restaurant seals the safe room and everything inside to escape liability.
The previously mentioned safe rooms are being sealed at most locations, including this one.
To me, this seems
More
like
like
the actions of
especially
Henry.
this
Who
one.
else would seal a bloody, living body in a hidden room in a pizzeria? Henry seems like the best bet, but we can't know for sure. Regardless, Afton is locked back there until the year 2023 when Fazbear Fright opens. The phone dude discovers the hidden room and sets Afton, now Springtrap, loose once more. From there, we know pretty much everything else.
Yep.
Springtrap haunts Fazbear Fright only to have it burned down. It seems to me that this again
Then
was
somehow, out
Henry's
of some
doing.
grace of God, he
Ultimate custom-night
escapes.
samurai cutscenes symbolize their relationship. William Afton is the fox, and Freddy is Henry, the bear of vengeance. The last line of dialogue in these samurai cutscenes says it best: I will pursue the fox. I will find him in whatever land he has fled to. It is my destiny, and it is his. Throughout the games, Henry is constantly trying to thwart
That's what I
William
always
in
thought
an
too.
escalating
If
fashion.
you guys watch
He
my
starts by getting him kicked out of
cutscene
the
reactions.
FNAF 2 location. He then tries to get him arrested in the aftermath of the missing children's incident. He traps him bleeding and spring-locked in the walls of Freddy Fazbear's, and finally he sets him on fire not just once in Fazbear Fright, but a second time in Pizzeria Simulator. Meanwhile, the rebuilt Michael
Finally he
Afton,
died.
Michael version 2.0, searches for his dad to get some answers. He starts in Sister Location, meets Baby, but falls victim to the plot of the furious tangle of spirits held in the various Funtime animatronics. Together, they form Ennard and scoop Michael's body in an attempt to escape their prison. The scooping plan works, but Michael survives because, remember, he's a robot. Baby seems to know this based on her repeated use of
You won't die.
You won't die, die, die.
more in need of answers
Nice
than
sound
ever
effects
before.
placement.
Michael promises his father,
I'm going to come find you.
which leads us at last to FNAF 6. Even though the puppet tried to free the spirits of the dead children in FNAF 3, it doesn't quite work. This is because the spirits were no longer complete, with parts of their souls now trapped in the Funtime animatronics, which themselves are now in the form of Molten Freddy. This is why paragraph 4 is such a big deal throughout FNAF 6. Based on
Get
the
the spirits
Insanity
back.
ending blueprints, paragraph 4 stipulates that all creatures containing Remnant must be in the pizzeria by the end of the week, so that when it burns, everyone goes with it. All remaining Remnant must be purged in order for the souls to finally be set free.
You shall be
Michael
purged,
accepts the
all
role as
you
night guard at the
thoughts.
simulated pizzeria. Henry summons all the animatronics there, burns it all to the ground, and finally releases everyone, including condemning William to hell. Well, he didn't release everyone. Golden Freddy,
Oh, yeah.
still a vengeful spirit, has a bone to pick with Willy, so she traps him in purgatory, forcing him to suffer for eternity at the hands of the monsters he created. And despite Old Man Consequences telling her to relax, she won't quit, hence her soul still being in Golden Freddy's twitching eyes as he fades out into the darkness and as the series hits its final notes. I don't know about you, but between these last two videos, I think that's about as thorough as you could possibly want. So there
Yeah.
you have it, FNAF theorists. As deep of a deep
It's
dive
over
as I can
finally.
go, trying to answer as many questions as possible.
Well, for Matt Pat's
all while
theories,
putting
this
things
game's
into
been
an
over
order
for
that
like a
makes
long time.
sense, while also accounting for as much of the evidence as possible. Is it a perfect timeline? No, but I don't think there can be. I think Mr. Hippo's custom night lines point us in that direction.
I suppose if a person just wants to talk, then it's best to not announce that you're telling a story. Telling a story does come with its own pressures and expectations, I suppose. After all, if you're just talking to a friend, then there's no more expectations than if you were talking into the wind. Words by themselves aren't expected
Bro,
to
like
carry.
Mr. Hippo
Aren't
vibes.
expected
Get-
to
let-
stick.
let's get a
But if you announce you're
Let's get a
telling
hashtag
story, well,
Mr.
then
Hippo
there better be
vibes.
a point to it all, you
Mr.
know?
Hippo
And
hour.
conversely, at
Hashtag
some
Mr.
point,
Hippo
you just
hour in the
analyze
comments
down a
if you made it
story
this
to
far.
the point of meaninglessness. In the end, whether this whole timeline is right or wrong, decoding FNAF's labyrinth of lore has been the single most exciting and enjoyable challenge I've covered on this channel. Yeah, we've covered it. A lot. A bit more than I would have liked, quite honestly, but for good reason. Few games give their story this much thought, and even fewer games tell their stories in such a compelling, mysterious way. I've said this for a while now, but FNAF is the perfect modern game. It's cheap, if not free, so anyone can play it. The mechanics are simple. It's fun to watch other people play it.
Like right. Oh my damn it!
And it seeds in Easter eggs that get other people talking online. 4 years later, and still, only a handful of indie games and practically zero AAA games have followed in its footsteps, despite FNAF's massive success. And that, perhaps, is the single greatest and saddest mystery of them all. If this truly is the end, thanks God for an incredible ride and providing a game that has forever changed my life and this channel.
Yeah.
But hey, that's just a theory
Of
game
the last
theory.
FNAF theory.
Thank you for watching every single one of these videos.
Yeah.
Woo! Now that the FNAF mystery is
Yes. So yeah, now that the FNAF mystery is solved, sorry about that. Now we can end off this reaction. So yeah, loved the editing. This was a great finale. I liked all the points she made. It got me thinking a lot throughout the video. And I know if maybe one day Scott shows us like a complete timeline, things are gonna be crazy. Especially if what Matt says is right. So yeah, if you guys like this reaction, make sure you guys hit the like button, comment below, subscribe for coming history today. I'll see you all later. Peace out. I can't talk.